Okay, part 3 on how I lost my husband and my son. So, after she told me that they were both dead, I passed out. As I was coming to, I could hear them yelling to get my husband's president, because I can hear my husband president yelling, but everything is so muffled. I couldn't understand what was going on. But as he, as he got closer, I hear him yelling, "Casper, get up! Casper, get up!" And by this time, Nikki's approaching me. And I just remember she looked at me and I looked at her and I just collapsed in her arms. And when I spoke with her days later, she was like, "I was so scared for you." She said, "You collapsed in my arms, Liz, and you just wasn't breathing." She said, "And I didn't know what to do." She said, "I just was screaming, 'Liz, breathe. Liz, get up. Liz, breathe.'" But I was just devastated. I was devastated. When we pulled up to the crash site, I didn't even realize. I seen the car that caused this accident, but I wasn't really, focused on, usually the norm, the what the norm is you ask what happened. I never asked what happened. I just needed to know that they were okay. So I'm looking, but I'm on the other side of the car. My husband and son is on the opposite side where I'm at. So I never seen them. I do know that my son was about 10 feet away from my husband. I won't go into any details about the driver and whatever, but it was deemed an accident. Basically, he pulled out in front of them, and my husband hit the vehicle. um my son was supposed to hit the car, but my husband got in front of my son and he hit the vehicle and died on impact. My son, I guess from the shock of seeing what had just happened, my son hit the curb and broke his neck. So he died about 10 feet away from my husband. Um, so I'm sitting there on the ground and I'm just confused because how we were okay, literally 27 minutes, we were fine, and now we're here. So now I'm thinking in my head at that moment. I'm like, this is okay. We're gonna be fine. I'm gonna get up tomorrow. This is gonna be a bad dream, and life is gonna be normal. They're gonna be home. That's what I'm saying to myself on the ground. I'm like, everything's gonna be just fine. Well, it wasn't. So now I have to get in to putting our families on notice of what's going on. And so many people told me in that moment when I called them, like, the the first person that I called, like, now when I think about it, I'm such a family oriented woman. The first thing I thought about was, now I am the head of my household. I have to make sure that, these contracts that I have to call, and let them know what just happened. So I'm calling my jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even calling family right now. And I can remember speaking to my manager at the time, who was actually a really good friend of mine. And I told her, I said, "I'm here. I'm standing outside of the crash site where my husband and my son just went down. They're both in the middle of the street and they're dead." And I remember her saying, "Liz, why are you calling me?" She was like, this is not even, don't even worry about that right now. But in my head, I was in survival mode. Like, okay, it's me now. I'm gonna take a second, y'all.